Hello everyone, today's the 2-year Q&A of Clack of the Geek, so woo! You guys ask questions and here are the answers.
Are there any YouTubers or people in general that inspired you to start making content? Well, at the beginning when I did sort of movie reviews, that's sort of the main focus, it was people who did movie reviews. So, people would have been like, the Nostalgia Critic, Unusual Suspect, Sean Chandler talks about Dead Meat. That was a big inspiration to start off with. But as I've more evolved into a Doctor Who channel, I've been inspired more by people like Crispy Pro, Ace Creeper, The Who Addicts, etc. My question, what was your favourite video to create? Probably at this moment, it's probably the Take Me Home Capaldi Road song, because I did it over a good few weeks. So, writing the lyrics, recording it, editing it, making the video, and it was just a really enjoyable experience. And when you do like a sort of a big project, like a sketch or a song or something like that, you do want to take time with it so it's more enjoyable. What would you say is the best video you've made? Again, probably Take Me Home Capaldi Road, although there are a few others, like The Geek Awakens, that one's a really good one. Valentine's Day, I find that quite funny. The End, the amount of people I was able to trick with that one, that was really weird. That was a really good video. What else? How I Got Into Doctor Who, that was quite a sort of sentimental video. I got very nostalgic making that, and I do quite like that one. So, yeah, there's a few that I really enjoy. Well done on 2 years, fantastic, thank you. What inspired the character Clack of the Creep? Love him. Yes, well, thank you very much. Okay, I do know what inspired him, actually. So, around last year, I was having the idea of rebranding the channel as Clack of the Creep for Halloween and make it all spooky themed. And the idea of Clack of the Creep would be, it's my evil alter ego. But I never went through with that, so I was like, I've still got this idea, so how do I incorporate it? And I was like, why don't I make him like my evil twin? And so in the top 5 scary Doctor Who stories, I included him at the opening, just as like a one-shot cameo. And then he became very beloved, and I've just included him in a bunch of other sketches and videos ever since. What is your favourite Doctor Who episode of all time? I forgot I've still got this hat on as well. It's The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. If you were a Gallifreyan, would you steal a TARDIS? Yes, I would. I don't care if I don't know how to pilot it. I'll just figure it out as I go along. Which music artist do you think would make a good companion? Right, I've had to think about this, and I'm going to say John Lennon. Because his way of looking at the world was very sort of deep and meaningful. It was very unique. And so if he saw the universe, if he saw the stars, how would he look at it? What would he say? Congrats on 2 years. What are your thoughts on these Doctor Who stories, as I haven't heard you speak about them before? Okay, we've got a few. The Mind Robber, absolutely fantastic. I love it. It's one of my favourite Troughton stories and one of my favourite classic stories in general. The Ambassadors of Death. I watched this one quite recently, a couple of weeks ago. I really enjoyed it. It's a bit long, but it's quite a clever story, and it's a really good action sort of thriller. State of Decay. Yeah, I like State of Decay. Thought to Doomsday. Absolutely boring. It is so boring. Dinosaurs in a Spaceship, again, is just boring. It's one of Chris Chibnall's worst stories. Thin Ice. I do like Thin Ice, but not as much as I used to when I first watched it, but I think it's a good story, How does it feel to have 100 subscribers? Feels like this. What's your favourite Doctor Who story? As I said, it's The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. And 3, are we good YouTubers? Yes, you are.
This question was from Cup of Tea Productions, and not only do they have the great name, but they do really cool sketches, so go check them out.
Where did you get the name Clacker from? Okay, Clacker is a nickname that I've had for years now, and it derives from my surname. So I figured, it's something interesting. If I could just call myself like Dan the Geek, that's not interesting. But Clacker is like a very unusual name. What you got planned for the next 2 years? Well, not dying, hopefully. Favourite highlight this year? Oh, I know this one. It's got to be my school production that we did in January. We were lucky because the big Rona hadn't got to us yet, but we got to do our school production, and it was absolutely fantastic. The atmosphere on set was incredible, and especially on the final night that we did it, I swear to God, when we were doing our bows at the end, I swear the audience was cheering for what felt like a good 5 minutes. I know it wasn't that long, but they were standing up and cheering, they were clapping. It was just absolutely incredible. What's your favourite Doctor Who series? It is Series 5 from the new series. What do you think of the story Robot? I really enjoy Robot. I think it's a great introduction for Tom Baker as the Doctor. I love the design of the robot itself. It's a very cool design, And I just think it's a really fun sort of earthbound story to introduce Tom Baker as the Doctor. Congratulations on 2 years, thank you very much. What were some of your favourite videos to film on the channel? Usually it's the sketches that I enjoy the most. So, you know, stuff like Valentine's Day, the 50 subscriber special, The Geek Awakens, and like sketch segments where I'm just mucking about. They're really enjoyable because, as I said, it's literally just me mucking about and I can have fun with it. Who was your favourite Doctor when you started the channel, and has your opinion changed since then? It has always been Matt Smith. He has always been my favourite Doctor. But rankings in like my other Doctors, you know, the ranking have sort of changed. Like Capaldi's definitely shot up in my ranking over time. Troughton, Patrick Troughton, he's become one of my new favourite Doctors. Just the more I watch him, the more I love him. What was the last episode of Doctor that you watched? It was The Invasion of Time, a 4th Doctor Sontaran story, and it's boring. I genuinely find it so boring. Like it's really annoying because it has stuff that I should like, you know. The Doctor acting all evil, that's really interesting. The Sontarans, it's set on Gallifrey. You get to see more of the TARDIS, but it's just so boring. It's such a boring 6-parter. What's been your least favourite part throughout the 2 years? I think I touched on this in my 100 subscriber video, but it's definitely the time between January and June of 2019, because I start off January with, you know, it's the aftermath of Doctor Series 11 and the fandom had become very toxic, and that put me off doing Doctor Who stuff. And then there was the threat of Article 13, so that sort of made me quite paranoid of losing my channel. So we start off 2019 in a pretty rough place, and for those sort of 6 months, it just sort of goes downhill. Like a lot of bad things in my life were happening, like in my personal life, which I'm not going to go into now. But yeah, it was honestly just sort of really overwhelming, and it put me off making a lot of videos. And you can tell if you look back on how many videos I made, there was hardly any. Where did you get all the motivation to make videos? God knows, I don't know, it just sort of happens, you know. Will you ever change your channel name? I don't want to change the channel name because it would just feel very jarring, you know, and it looked like the geek is something distinct with me, so it would just feel really jarring. How much do you enjoy lockdown / making videos in lockdown? Well, I don't enjoy lockdown at all, but making videos in lockdown, for the most part, I enjoy. There's a couple of days when I've had sort of no motivation, but for the most part, I've enjoyed having more free time. 3 overrated stories, I assume you mean Doctor Who, so End of Time is one that's overrated, just don't like it. Doomsday, that's really overrated, I don't get why people enjoy that one as much. And a classic one, Curse of Peladon, I genuinely find that really boring. Like 2 underrated stories, I'll just name 2 off the top of my head, The Space Museum and Carnival of Monsters. One Doctor you want to like more, honestly, Jodie Whittaker, because it feels like it has been going on for ages, but you know, and I think the reason is because I haven't clicked with her Doctor as such. So I want her to leave after Series 13, and I want her to leave on a series where I can think, oh, I think we should have got more. Because that's a good sign. When it leaves you wanting more, it's good that, you know, it shows that's clicked with you. What's your favourite meal? Oh, it's got to be fish and chips. What was the last movie you saw? It was Groundhog Day, the Bill Murray comedy where he's like living the same day over and over. Honestly, it's genuinely brilliant. If I'd seen it sooner, it could have been on the 5 perfect movies list. It's that good. What does Clacker mean? Like, where did you come up with the name? As I said, it derives from my surname, and it's a nickname I've had for years. But to you, Clacker can mean whatever you want it. It can be a way of life, if you want it to. It can lead you down the path to success. It can teach you kindness. It can be whatever you want it to mean. Which was worse, Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones? Attack of the Clones. I genuinely think Phantom Menace is an underrated Star Wars movie. I genuinely do. I think it has some merit to it. Any sneak peek info on what you're doing soon on the channel? Okay, I'll give you a rough schedule. So, after this Q&A should be my Doctor Who Series 3 ranking. Then after that, I'm going to do a ranking of the Star Wars films. And then after that, soon, will be a big sketch, which will be, you know, I think you'll really enjoy. So that's sort of a rough schedule of what I'm going to be doing in the future.
So that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.